Okay, so we're back looking at bits of GT6 Mk2. I've got the carved bodies, so all the cast aluminium parts all cleaned up and ready to go back together. The rebuild kit's turned up. I haven't yet checked the brand new shafts against the bodies to feel where if there's any wear in the body I might need to be concerned about. But otherwise, what I've been doing, as you can see behind me, is plating up the cams and levers and bits that join the two carbs together. Also, I've been looking for other things I can clean up and plate, zinc plate, and I found I thought I'd seen this in the box of bits. This is half of the heater control valve, and I know where the other half is, so I should be able to clean this up as well and put them back together. So first of all, just going to take this apart and have a look what it's like inside. And I give it a soda blast and see if it needs any actual plating work or if it's fine as is. Then hopefully we'll be able to look at the carbs. So I think it's just going to be a case of removing this tiny little E-clip. And the assembly there is going to pop out. So this has previously been disassembled by just drilling off that rivet. And it should go back together the same way. So there's the body. That will go in, whichever the right orientation is, twist around, and then the rivet just holds it against one of these little pairs of spikes. Okay, I'll give those bits a clean up. So this is all got PCV out too. This is all just after a quick go over with the soda blaster. Everything really is pretty fine. I don't feel the need to replate that. I mean, you could if you wanted it super shiny, but I don't think those bits are necessary. Might do this bolt because it seems to have lost all the plating, and this bit, the actual control lever. Because that seems to have lost the plating on the end too. Okay, so I've got all my bits of heater valve laid out. These are the couple of bits I've just replated because they just looked a bit worn. There's definitely a bit of wear on here, but I don't think it was necessary to strip this bit. There's just bits of rust that I got rid of on these couple of things. Anyway, if you're interested in zinc plating or many other types of plating at home, I would suggest in the UK going to Gatoros plating. I mean, there's all sorts on the internet. You can find out how to DIY this, but with the proper chemicals, it's easy, and you just need to make sure stuff is clean, rust free, and then it just works beautifully, and you can have nice shiny parts. Anyway, I do have my reference of which way round the heater valve needs to be, because this body can go back on, or the two halves of the body can go together in any orientation. So we want to match what it's supposed to look like. So first I'm just going to I'll pop this rivet out here. So what we want to end up with is going to be about there. No. A bit like that. Okay, and based on the comparison with the Spitfire ones, we want to be that way up. I'll just go and find a better picture. Yeah, got extra confirmation. The loop is pointing down. Yeah, so that was metal plate, rubber diaphragm, little E-clip on the top, and then this should get it the right way around again. Should twist together like that. This should work. It does have a blow through it. Sometimes the random crap you buy in Aldi is useful. Okay, well I'm going to give that a bit of a test on the hose. And then I'll pop a bit of oil on that, the moving parts, and get it stashed away. So I've just tested it on the garden hose, and initially when applying pressure to this port, it was leaking kind of around the edges here. So I had a bit of a look, and some of these tabs were a little loose. So I've just been around with a punch and hammer and just tighten them up a little bit, and that seems to have cured it. It's probably good for the moment. Maybe I will find a spare, an emergency spare, but we shall have to see. Okay, so I've got both my car bodies, got the kit, rebuild kit, and what I'm going to do first is just take a new shaft and feel what it's like in these bores. There's actually quite a lot. I think I might have to have those bushed, you know. Okay, so I fired off a couple of emails inquiring about car body rebushing. And the next thing I pulled out of the box is the fuel pump. So let's pull this apart, check it all seems acceptable, and then I can get a kit for you can get the diaphragm and the valves. Get this all ready to go. It's been bent at some point. So the zinc plated bit, isn't it? Oh, that's crunchy.
So I had a bit of a fight with the diaphragm, trying to figure out how it went in. When it does, it goes. But getting these slots lined up. So these slots have to engage within the body, and then you turn it. That's easier said than done, it seems. Anyway, so I did. Oh, I've lost one circlip already. This is 5mm. It's 5 point something. So at least I can get a cheap metric one. So wait. Yeah, I did start taking this pen out, and then I stopped because I wanted to record what came out. Finish taking this out. The arm in the middle, spring. I'm going to get this out. Yep. Well, that would actually explain why I had so much trouble getting this engaged, because that looks to be slightly bent. Okay, so there's a washer either side of that. This one's still trapped on that. So it looks like I could get that spring off. I probably won't, unless I feel it really, really needs it. And the arm is riveted on, so that's not coming off. This is staked in. Again, I'm not going to take it out unless I think there's some massive need to. Just going to get all this cleaned up. So I got most of my bits of fuel pump cleaned up. Well, no, got all of my bits of fuel pump cleaned up, and they are now drying or sitting covered in WD-40, like the better steel parts. Anyway, I'm just going to try. So this is the lever that sits inside the pump. The diaphragm engages in there, and this is what actually pulls that up and down. And I think it's just splayed apart a little bit at this end where the diaphragm attaches. So I'm just going to try and give that a bit of a squash in. Try and make that a bit easier to work with. Put it back together. And that feels like it worked. I can't feel or see any rock on the straight edge of the vise there now. Okay, so once I've got everything dried out, get it put together. So I've been doing some plating. I've done my fuel pump top. It's not quite as yellow as I was expecting. This has been yellow passivated. Anyway, everything's ready. My new clips have just turned up. So aside from a new gasket, which I do need, I think everything else is ready to go back together. So I'm going to assemble it and then give it a test with some manually pumping the fuel. It should be good. Okay, so attempt one didn't work so well. What I've done now is I've got the arm in, it's held on the punch, and I've got the diaphragm attached to it. So hopefully that's going to hold that more or less the right place while I get first this pin in. It's supposed to go that way up. Let's try that trick again. Right, diaphragm's engaged, and the arm is this time the right way up. Now, spring on there. Hopefully this arm will engage nicely. Looking more promising. washer in. The spring in for the diaphragm. Give a little clip, hope they fit. That's seated okay. Right. Just got to check back to see which way round that went. And this is one of the real bonuses of videoing stuff, and that I could just go back and look. This is the right way round. This should now just bolt on, and obviously taking care not to shove the screws through the diaphragm, anything daft like that. Those filter back in, slightly crunchy seal, but that's going to only stay in here for the duration of the test. Nice shiny top. So this is a little fibre washer under the bolt, and obviously we don't want to do it. Don't want to over tighten this because we'll crush the cap. It certainly sounds like it's drawing fuel. Put this on temporarily. Certainly sounds like I just got fuel there. Let's just have a look. Yep. I think that's working. Oops. Well, that is very exciting. That's the first time in 40 years or so that pump has done that. Almost certainly. So I think with the fuel pump working, we'll call this episode done. I'm still waiting on insurance things with the health, so I'm a bit stuck as to like what I can really progress with. So I don't know what's going to be next. I'm going to keep going through the bits of GT6. We'll see how much I film because some of it's not particularly exciting. I've been doing a bunch of zinc plating, things like the headlamp bowls, large bolts, bits of carb bracket. And I found someone to send the carb bodies off to be rebushed, or freshly bushed because they didn't have bushes. So hopefully quite soon I'll be able to get on and reassemble the carbs. But for this episode, we've got the heater valve put back together, just quite a nice little win. We've got the fuel pump, and they're both, and like with the rest of this car, it's quite exciting that, you know, they've all these things have been idle that long and they're coming back to life. So with that, thanks for watching, thanks for commenting, thanks for subscribing. If you're not subscribed and you've got this far, please consider doing so. And I'll see you in the next one, which is probably going to be putting an exhaust on the Spitfire.